In the village of Amata, there was once a woman who made a bargain no human should ever make. She sold her shadow to the river. And from that moment on, the water began to whisper her name. At first, the villagers thought it was just another story elders told to frighten children. But what happened next still haunts that village to this day. Long before mobile phones and city lights reached the countryside, Amata was a quiet village surrounded by tall palm trees and red earth roads. At sunset, smoke rose from cooking fires. Goats wandered between huts made of clay. And the sound of drums echoed across the fields as elders gathered beneath the old Baobab tree. It was a peaceful place. But every peaceful place hides a secret. And Amata's secret lived in the river. The river was called Omiru. The elders warned the villagers about it. "Respect the river," the oldest man would say, tapping his walking stick against the ground. "Do not mock it. Do not take from it without thanks. And never, ever go to it alone at night." Children would shiver when they heard that. Because they believed what the elders believed. That a god lived beneath the water. A god who listened. A god who watched. And sometimes, a god who made deals. But in that same village lived a woman who did not fear the stories. Her name was Adanna. Adanna was beautiful. Not the gentle beauty that made people smile softly. No. Her beauty was sharp. Bold. Commanding. Men turned their heads when she walked through the market. Women whispered when she passed. But Adanna carried something else with her besides beauty. Pride. She believed she deserved more than the small village life. More than the dusty roads. More than selling cassava and palm oil in the market. "Look at this place," she once told her friend Ngozi as they sat beside the cooking fire. "Every day the same thing. Same huts. Same faces. Same poverty." Ngozi frowned. "You should not speak like that. Our ancestors live here." Adanna scoffed. "Let the ancestors give me gold then." Ngozi shook her head slowly. "Careful, Adanna. Words travel farther than feet." But Adanna only laughed. Because she believed something was waiting for her. Something greater. And one evening, she went looking for it. But that was just the beginning. It happened during the dry season. The moon hung low in the sky, casting silver light across the river Omiru. Most villagers were already asleep. But Adanna walked alone through the tall grass. The night insects hummed around her. Somewhere far away, a hyena cried. Still, she walked. Step. 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 Until she reached the edge of the river. The water moved slowly, like something breathing in the dark. Adanna stared at it. "You hide down there," she whispered. "I know you do." The wind rustled the leaves. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the water moved. Not like a normal current. No. It twisted. Swirled. Formed a circle. And from the center of the river, a voice rose. Deep. Ancient. "Who calls me?" Adanna's heart pounded. But she did not run. "I do," she said boldly. "I am Adanna." The water rippled again. "Humans do not come here at night," the voice said. "They fear me." Adanna folded her arms. "I am not like other humans." A long silence followed. Then the river laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. It sounded like stones grinding under water. "And what is it you want, proud daughter of the earth?" Adanna took a step closer. "I want wealth." The wind grew colder. "I want power," she continued. "I want more than this small life." The river god was silent again. Then it spoke. "Everything has a price." Adanna smiled. "I expected that." The water swirled faster now. "What will you give me?" Adanna thought for a moment. Then she said something that would change her life forever. My shadow. The night went still. Even the insects stopped singing. What did you say? The river god asked slowly. Adanna pointed at the ground behind her. Her shadow stretched long in the moonlight. Take it, she said. I don't need it. And that was the moment everything changed. The river rose. Not like a wave, but like a living thing. A tall shape formed from the water itself. Eyes glowing like fire beneath the surface. You are willing to sell your shadow? It asked. Adanna nodded. Yes. The river god studied her carefully. You do not understand what a shadow is. Adanna shrugged. It's just darkness following me around. The river god's voice deepened. No. It is your reflection in the spirit world. It is the proof that your soul belongs to you. Adanna hesitated. But only for a second. I don't care, she said. I want wealth. The river god slowly stretched a watery hand toward the moonlight. Then the bargain is made. The water touched her shadow. And something impossible happened. The shadow moved. Not because Adanna moved, but because it was being pulled away from her. Adanna gasped. The shadow stretched across the ground like black smoke, slowly sliding toward the river. Wait, she whispered. But it was too late. The shadow slipped into the water and vanished. The river went still again. Then the voice spoke one final time. It is done. Adanna felt strange. Lighter. But also, emptier. What now? She asked. The river god answered. Now your fortune begins. And it did. But not the way she expected. The very next day, Adanna's life began to change. A trader from a distant town arrived in the village market. He saw Adanna's goods. He offered triple the price. Within weeks, her business grew. People came from neighboring villages to buy from her. Money flowed like rain. Soon Adanna built the largest house in Amata. She wore bright fabrics, gold bracelets, silver rings. The villagers stared in amazement. How did she become so rich? They whispered. Ngozi watched her carefully. Something felt wrong. Then one evening, Ngozi noticed something strange. Adanna stood near the cooking fire. But the firelight cast shadows from everyone else. Except her. Adanna had none. Ngozi's heart began to race. What did you do? She asked quietly. Adanna forced a laugh. Don't be silly. But deep inside, Adanna already knew the truth. And that was when the nightmares began. At first, it was only dreams. She would hear water dripping in the darkness. Then the voice would whisper. Adanna. She would wake up sweating. Night after night. The whispers grew louder. Adanna, you belong to the river now. She tried to ignore it. But the nightmares became worse. She saw her shadow trapped beneath the water. Twisting. Struggling. Calling for her. One night she woke up and saw something even worse. A puddle of water on the floor of her house. But it had not rained. Another night. The puddle grew larger. Then came the final night. Adanna woke to the sound of rushing water. Her room was filled with it. Cold water. Up to her knees. Then her waist. Then her chest. The river god's voice filled the room. You took wealth. Now I take what remains. Adanna screamed. No. I gave you my shadow. The voice roared like thunder. And your shadow was your soul. The water pulled her toward the door. Dragged her into the night. Across the red earth road. Back toward the river Omiru. She fought. She screamed. But the water was stronger. Villagers woke to the sound of her cries. But when they reached the river, she was gone. Only the moon reflected in the dark water. And something else. A shadow beneath the surface. Still moving. The village of Amata never forgot that night. The elders gathered beneath the Baobab tree the next morning. Ngozi told them everything. The deal. The missing shadow. The whispers. The eldest man sighed deeply. I warned you all, he said. The river listens. The villagers burned Adanna's house. Not out of anger, but out of fear. And from that day forward, no one in Amata ever went to the river alone at night again. Even today, elders say that if you stand beside the river Omiru under a full moon, you might see something strange beneath the water. A shadow moving without a body. Waiting. Still trapped. Still whispering. But that was just the beginning. Because some lessons travel through generations. And some mistakes never truly disappear. In Africa, elders say something very simple. The things that follow you in silence are often the things that protect you the most. Adanna thought her shadow was nothing. Just darkness on the ground. But she did not understand its true value. And that ignorance cost her everything. I didn't understand that lesson when I first heard this story. But I do now. Because not everything that looks small is worthless. And not every bargain is worth the price. Especially when the river is listening. If this story taught you something, don't forget to subscribe to Tales Under Baobab.